Today, I write another page in the diary of Jesus, my diary. That night fell with a weight not even the stars dared to carry. The wind that used to comfort me was silent. The trees, once dancing with prayers, now bowed in sorrow. The world seemed to keep spinning, but inside me, everything had stopped. For the first time, I wanted to disappear, to hide, to forget the promise, to let go of the cross before even touching it. That night wasn't made of external darkness. It was made of internal shadows, the kind that hide in corners where not even faith can reach. I sat on a cold stone without saying a word. I just breathed, as if breathing was the only proof I was still here. Still me. But inside, everything was trembling. My eyes were open, but my soul was searching for refuge I no longer knew where to find. I was afraid, but not of what was coming. I was afraid of myself, afraid to fail, afraid to disappoint heaven, and more than anything, afraid I wouldn't endure. That night was different from all the others, and that's why it became unforgettable. Because on that night, I almost gave up on everything, even you. The garden was quiet, so quiet that even the crickets seemed silent. The air smelled of wet earth, even though no rain had fallen. Every olive leaf appeared to be watching, silent witnesses to a moment that would change everything. The moon, hidden behind clouds, barely dared to light the ground. My feet were covered in dust and sweat. Each step sank deeper into the reality of what was coming. I walked alone. The three I had brought with me could no longer keep their eyes open. They slept, and the sound of their sleep hurt more than the sound of swords, because it showed me that even by my side, they were far. I knelt on a stone. Its coldness woke me from the inside out. I rested my elbows on my knees and covered my face with my hands. The wind moved slowly, as if it didn't want to disturb me. Time felt suspended, and in that garden, where I had so often taught, healed, and smiled, today I wept. The place that had always been filled with peace was now my desert, my battlefield, and in the middle of the night's silence, I began to whisper words I didn't even know where they came from. Words of pain, of confusion, of surrender. Words that didn't ask for relief, only for presence. Because what I feared most that night wasn't suffering. It was being alone. My body was weak, but not from hunger. It was my soul that ached. I called out to him, to the Father, but heaven remained silent. There was no thunder, no angel, no reply. There was only the sound of my own breathing, growing heavier with each passing moment. And it was there, on my knees, that a thought pierced me like a sword. What if I can't do it? What if I'm not enough? It wasn't a doubt about who I was. It was a doubt about how much I could endure. I was sweating blood, literally. My body reacted to the weight of the decision, and my mind filled with images. The cross, the nails, the screams, the rejection. But what terrified me most was the thought of you feeling abandoned. The thought that if I gave up right there, you would never know how deeply you were loved. I saw your pain, your loneliness, your shame, and I saw your eyes searching for hope. I almost walked away. Almost. But it was the thought of you that stopped me. Because even without you knowing it, you gave me strength in that moment. The memory of your face pushed me back to my place, back to my path, back to my destiny. I stood up, my body still trembling. My legs were weak, but my heart was steady. When I opened my eyes, the night seemed even darker, but inside, a small light had begun to burn. It was like embers, not a fire, but a flame that refused to die. And it was then that I heard footsteps. Many. Torches flickered in the distance. Judas was leading them. I didn't say a word. I simply let that moment turn into a sentence. In my diary of Jesus, I saw the shine of betrayal in his eyes, but I also saw fear. He was lost, and I understood. I understood everything, and I chose not to step back. One of mine reached for a sword, but I stopped him, because the battle wasn't against men. It was against fear, against abandonment, against the silence of heaven. And I won that night. Not when they arrested me, not when they judged me. I won when I remained, when I didn't run, when I chose to love all the way to the end. And I did it for you, because even if you couldn't see me, I saw you that night. I saw your future, your tears, your question, does he really love me? even like this? And I came to answer you, with my life, with my surrender, with my blood. That night, I discovered that the greatest miracle is not stopping the storm. It's walking through it with your eyes open, even when you can't see the end. I discovered that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to keep going, even while trembling. I learned that God's silence is not absence. It's preparation, and that the deepest kind of faith is the one that remains. When everything feels empty, that night taught me that true love is a choice, not a feeling. That to love is to decide to stay, even when everything inside you wants to run. I learned that the cross is not a burden. It's a bridge, and to reach you, I would have to pass through it. I discovered that hell doesn't fear those who scream. It fears those who keep loving in silence, and that there is no wound love cannot reach. When it gives itself completely, I did not overcome that night with strength. I overcame it with surrender, with tears, with memory, with you in my heart. Today, I don't want you to remember a hero. I want you to remember a man who felt fear, pain, and loneliness. A man who sweat blood and almost gave up, but who stayed for love, who stayed for you. That night almost made me abandon everything, but the thought of losing you made me rise. I walked through fear, through doubt, through silence, and through the cross, so that you would know you were never alone. And if today you also feel unseen, if the sky seems silent, if the weight you carry feels too much, remember, I was there too, and I stayed. I stayed for you. Now I leave this page in my diary of Jesus, written in pain but filled with hope, so that you remember, true love never gives up. Now tell me, what has been trying to make you give up too? What has been your darkest night? What weighs so heavily inside you that sometimes you think of stopping? I stayed for you. And you, who do you still choose to stay for? If this page from my diary spoke to your heart, leave a like. If you know someone who needs to remember they're not alone, share this. And if you want to keep walking with me, subscribe. There are many pages yet to come, some written in pain, others in joy, but all written in love. This video that's appearing right now, I save it especially for you because it's a sign, and you'll understand once you watch it.